Hello, and thank you for joining us for the Hife informational webinar. In this webinar, we're going to take a few moments to highlight some of the services that we offer and how we work with our students and family enrolled in the Hife College Coaching Program, both in the US as well as in Canada. At Hife, we believe that every student deserves a coach, and we are so pleased to be able to share what we can do for you and your student through this webinar. Let's face it, we live in a highly competitive world, and people truly need the right preparation to be able to pursue the career that they want. This may include, and often does, include a college or university education. We work with everyone who wants to pursue education to really help them define what they want that educational dream to be. What do they want to be? What career field do they want to go into? And do they need a college or university education for that? So we really help them to decide the end goal of what that educational dream is, help them to design the plan, and help them to execute that plan to reach those goals in the best amount of time with the least amount of money. Every student that we work with is unique and must be coached individually. The way that we do that is really starting with assessments that really are based on an individual's natural gifts and talents, as well as their interest area, as well as their experiences. And so really bringing that together and then encouraging individuals based on where they are in their career path to get different experiences to figure out if that really is the career path that they want. And then how do we match up the educational goals with that? So the three main areas of students that we work with are high school students, college students, and adult or returning students. The age for our high school students really starts as early as 8th grade. Typically, that's going to be the spring semester of 8th grade through senior year, through graduating grade 12 for our high school students. Through this time, we provide guidance with course selection, with extracurricular activities, with volunteering both in the school as well as in the community, how to make the most of those situations, how to build good relationships with supervisors and peers that are then going to result in potentially not only great experiences that's going to go on their resume as well as be applicable to college entrance essays as well as university applications and interviews, but also in letters of recommendation from the folks that they were working with in these extracurriculars. We want to make sure that we're increasing their options as we get closer to graduations. And in this area, what we're really talking about is options for colleges and universities. We want to make sure that we have a well-rounded curriculum, that we are taking on extracurriculars activities that the student is not only interested in, but has time for. We don't want students to be so overloaded that they're just running around and are not having a meaningful experience. We want that to be meaningful for them. Next, we work with our college and university students. So this is students who are already enrolled. In this area, we continue to provide guidance on the steps to take while they're enrolled in college or university for getting into graduate school, professional school, or their career once they do graduate. When and if students are looking to transfer schools or transfer majors or something along those lines, we also help them alongside their college officers to be able to make that happen. Again, and I'll talk about this in a little bit, but students who are enrolled in our program are less likely to need to transfer majors as well as transfer schools. But if that does happen, we are there to help them through that, as well as increasing their options for graduate and professional school post-graduation from their bachelor's degree. And then the third area of students that we work with are our adult or returning students. This can be students who may have started a degree and had not finished it. This could be students who have finished a degree and are making a career change. Hopefully, it's something that their employer is able to pay for. If not, it's something obviously that that student is going to pay for, and we're going to also work with them on financial aid. So we'll get into that in a little bit as well. Each of the students that's enrolled in the Hife program is assigned an individual coach. All of these coaches are former or current educators, and we've all spent our lives working to help students succeed. So we have a very, very strong commitment to our student success, and we have probably over 100 years of experience combined, not one individual, but combined to really help our students. And so we really bring that collective to the table and work as a team to make sure that our students are receiving the best guidance to meet their needs. So some of the areas that our program focuses on really is the steps to take during high school. This is going to be dependent upon the student. This may come into play when it's talking about course selection, what courses should they take when deciding, walking students through what may be the minimum or recommended requirements for a particular school that they're interested in, if they're looking at advanced placement, if they're looking at the International Baccalaureate, those types of things. So we really help them get a broader picture of what's available and what is really going to truly open up options for them upon graduation. We also help students really choose the best major for themselves. That's going to help them get into the career field or the specific career that they're looking for. Again, with those assessments, we really start to open up some options for students to explore. In that same vein, we help students choose the best college or university for themselves. Again, we talk through all of the options. Is community or junior college an option at the outset? Are we looking to go directly into a 4-year degree granting institution? What type of environment is best for them? Are we looking for large or small, close to home, far away? What type of financial aid package? Those types of things. So we really work very closely with students, again, based on what they're looking for, what their career aspirations are, as well as what they're able to achieve based on their experiences up to that point. We also walk students and their families through the college or university application process. This is going to look very different for many different schools. And so we want to make sure that our students are prepared. And so we really start focusing on that at the end of the sophomore and first part of the junior year, but we also touch on it as early as 8th grade, getting our students to really start thinking about that, making sure that when we get to that application point, we're not scrambling for extra materials. We are not wishing that we would have done more for volunteers. So it's a very laid out program that we advise our students on. So they're really prepared for that application process. And then we walk them through specifically on some of the individual questions that they may have and how that application process is going to apply to them. We also help students and their families explore and apply for every possible source of financial aid, whether that's the federal funding in that area, whether that's looking at all of the different scholarship vehicles that are out there, all of the clearinghouses that our students are able to put in their parameters, see what they can apply for. We also provide the opportunity both for our college applications as well as scholarship applications for their essays to be reviewed. Oftentimes for our scholarships, we're seeing essays that are being required from the institution granting the scholarship. And so we have professional essay reviewers that are on staff that are able to do that. So we really want to make sure that our students are applying for financial aid. Every dollar counts. Once it gets to the acceptance times, we really help students finalize their results. That's looking at reevaluation letters, whether that is a reevaluation of acceptance or if that's a reevaluation of financial aid. We've had great success in going back to colleges and universities and saying either, if a student maybe wasn't accepted, hey, please take a look at this. I have taken some additional classes. I've gotten some tutoring and brought my GPA up, or I was able to take a college entrance exam again and resubmitting those materials for review. Same goes for the financial aid. We're able to really help students and their families walk through sending a letter to a college or university financial aid office saying, I would really like to go to your school, but I'm not sure if we can afford it with the current financial aid package. Is there anything else that can be done? We never know what the answer is going to be, but the answer is always going to be no if we don't ask. So we've had a great deal of success in helping students and family navigate that reevaluation process. Our students are often getting multiple acceptances to different institutions. So once that starts happening, we walk students through and their families through, again, looking at that financial aid piece, which one is going to fit better for the family's needs and ability. And where's the academics at? You know, we're definitely making sure that our students aren't applying to schools that don't have the academics that they're looking for. So at this point, when they're receiving their acceptances from multiple schools, let's walk through what really makes sense for them on the academics. What's the strength of that academic program? How closely does it match the career field that they've identified? As well as fit. Where is the student going to thrive the most? And really looking at all of those pieces to be able to put that together as a puzzle piece to figure out where that student is going to thrive for the next 4 years. And then making sure, again, that everything is verified. There's a lot of T's to cross and I's to dot when it comes to the application and acceptance process. So we just continually remind our students and families, make sure that nothing is outstanding, go into those online portals, those types of things. Again, we want to make sure that our students are successful. As I talked about previously, we really help our students help to define the best major for them to focus on that's going to get them to the career path or the specific job that they are interested in, and then which schools really match up with that. The reason that we do that is a couple of reasons, actually, is because we want to make sure that our students are going to be successful, that they're going to have an enjoyable time in college, they're going to be challenged academically, and that when they graduate, they're going to be going into the field that they identified, either through a professional school route or directly into the workforce. Students on average nationally take 6.5 years to graduate. Students who are enrolled in the Hife program take 4.5 years. So a lot of that front-loading work on identifying the best major for career fit as well as for school fit really results in students not needing to change majors multiple times, certainly not changing schools unless something drastic happens, and then we are able to walk alongside them. And so we're saving on average 2 years of schooling for our students, which, as you can see on the slide, is really close to $45,000 in tuition, room and board fees. Not only does this get them either into professional school or the workforce sooner, it's also saving $45,000. So the minimal amount of what it would cost to enroll in the Hife program and remain in that for a couple of years leading up to this point is really nominal in compared to this. We have really found that this is very important for our students to really feel very connected with not only their academic major, which translates to their career field, but to the school that they are attending. They have higher satisfaction rates. They're really ready to go when they get there. They feel prepared when they get to college and university and have built some of those skills to be able to navigate when any of those changes arise through being members of our program. As was touched on earlier, one of the components of our program is to really help students and their families investigate all of the different types of financial aid that are out there. So obviously, in addition to being the right major in the right school, our students have to be able to pay for that education. And so we want to make sure that they're pursuing all options for financial aid. In the US, there's the federal programs with the FAFSA as well as the CSS profile. There's some state financial aid programs. There's the aid from individual colleges. So those are some of the merit-based programs as well as the need-based programs specific to each school, as well as the scholarships. And so we really work with students on getting them set up on the different clearinghouses so they can put in their parameters and pull from a very large pool of scholarships, with some very large national ones down to some very smaller local ones. We also advise and coach them on pursuing some local scholarships that may be for people who are only in their area. So really making sure that they are exploring all of those options. It's the same for our Canadian students. So we're really looking at that, both the Canada and the provincial financial aid. And again, that aid from individual colleges or universities and those scholarships routes. So we really want to make sure that our students are pursuing these, as many as possible. And throughout the program, we start working with students as early as 8th grade to start looking for and identifying scholarships that they may be eligible for. Although they may not be eligible in the 8th, 9th, or 10th grade to apply for a scholarship, dependent upon when those funds are applicable, they can start tracking that information so they know when they get to junior and senior year or grade 11 and grade 12, they know which scholarships to go back and look at. They will have known which scholarships are looking for specific volunteer hours or volunteer in a specific area. So they're really able to build their plan based on what is out there for them. And we continuously coach our students on looking for, tracking, and applying when applicable to these scholarships.
Hi, I'm Sabrina Salvador. My father is Victor Salvador, and I'm currently a senior in high school. When I was a freshman going into my sophomore year, I joined the Hife CCP program, but at that time it still felt like it was too early to be worrying about college, so I didn't take it as seriously. But then in my junior year, I began taking the ACT, and my counselors were beginning to ask me about college, and that's when I realized I didn't know what I was doing for college. I didn't know where I was going to go, and I didn't know how to begin applying. So I asked my dad for help, and that's when he re-registered me into the Hive CCP program, and that's when I began to take it more seriously. And at that point, it was really helpful because my coach was reminding me to keep up with my grades and to also stay involved with extracurriculars and community service. And my coach also helped narrow down colleges for me based on my major and the location of where I wanted to go. And in the college application process, he reminded me to keep up with my deadlines and to get my essays reviewed by some people in the program, and he also reminded my family and I to do the FAFSA. And the whole college application process was such hard work that it was really helpful for me to have a coach and my parents guide and support me throughout it all. And now I'm relieved and excited to say that I'm going to my #1 choice of school with a scholarship from the school in my preferred major. Thank you.
If you have any questions or want to find out more information about the services that Hife offers, please contact your specific Hife consultant. If you don't have a consultant or are unable to get a hold of them, please contact our main office. We are located in the Mountain Standard Time Zone in Colorado, and the phone number here is 303-597-0197, or you can feel free to email us at info@hifa-usa.org. Again, please give us a call, send us an email with whatever questions. We would love to be able to answer those for you. Thank you for taking the time to explore Hife and what we do and what we can offer. We look forward to working with you in the future. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to call the office, your consultant, or to send us an email. We look forward to hearing from you and wish you a good day.